Musical intervals. The term musical intervals means the relationship between two notes. The name of the interval has two parts, the type and the distance. Let's talk first about the distance. Count the lines and the space on the staff. Example, treble staff. F to C. Space 1, line 2, space 3, line 4, 5 space, 5 steps. This is an interval of a fifth. Let's look at the example in the bass staff. Line 1, space 2, line 3. This is an interval of the third. Let's take a look at the major scale and its intervals. Let's talk about the types of intervals. There are 5 different types of intervals. Major, its abbreviation is a capital M. A minor, its abbreviation is a small m. Perfect, the perfect is abbreviated capital P. Augmented, capital A or a plus sign. Diminished, a small dim or a circle, which is called a degree sign. In the major scale, the unison, fourth, fifth, and octave are perfect. And just note that we abbreviate octave 8VA. 8VA means octave. The second, the third, the sixth, and the seventh are major. Let's take a look at the distance. Here we have a unison, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and octave. And the type, perfect unison, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, perfect octave. That's a major scale. Let's take a look at the minor scale. In a minor scale, the distances stay the same as they did in the major scale, but some of the types change. The unison, fourth, fifth, and octave remain perfect, but the third, sixth, and seventh are now minor. They are the only intervals that changed. The second remains major second. Let's compare the two. This one is major, this one is minor. As we see, the distances stay the same. Unison, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, octave. And the types changed. Let's take a look at the types. Perfect unison, major second. Here we have minor third in the minor scale and major third in the major scale. Perfect fourth, perfect fifth, those are the same. In the major, major sixth, minor sixth in the minor. Minor seventh in the minor, major seventh in the major. And then we have perfect octave in both scales. And just a note, to learn more about the minor scale, please refer to the previous video where we discuss the relative of the both keys and how they are built. Moving on, we have here the augmented and diminished intervals. In this case, we have thirds. All are thirds. F to A is a major third. And if we lower the top note half a step, now we could call it a minor third. If we lower it a second time, A double flat, it is called a diminished third. But if we go from the major and raise the note a half a step from F to A sharp, it is now called an augmented third. Perfect intervals. There are no major or minor perfect intervals. If the perfect interval is lowered half a step, it becomes a diminished interval. Here we have perfect fifth. If we lower the top note half a step, It's called a diminished fifth. If the perfect interval is raised half a step, it becomes an augmented interval. Perfect fifth, G to D. And we raise the D half a step, and so it's called an augmented fifth. Let's do the summary. Let's start here with a perfect interval. Perfect intervals are unison, fourth, fifth, octave. The perfects are never called major or minor. So in this case, we have a perfect fifth. Line 1, space 2, 3, line 4, space, line 5. We have a perfect fifth. It's abbreviated with a capital P. Perfect fifth. Now let's take a look at what happens when we lower the top note from G to down half a step to G flat. Lowered half a step from the perfect, they are called diminished. C to G flat is called a diminished fifth, small dim. And here we have raised half a step. Raised half a step from the perfect, they are called augmented. We raised the G up half a step to G sharp, and we call it augmented fifth. Capital A means augmented, augmented fifth. Let's look at minor intervals. Let's start with this major here, from C to E. Line 1, space 2, line 3. It is a major third, capital M3. The major intervals are 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th. And if we lower the top note half a step, lower to half a step from the major, they are called minor. And we abbreviated small m, 3, minor third. And likewise, if we reduce it a second time, double flat, E, double flat, C to E double flat, it's called a diminished third, small dim. Lowered a second half a step from the minor, they are called diminished. Let's take a look at this one. From the major, we raised it half a step. Raised a half a step from a major, they are called augmented. So we have this abbreviation, capital A3 means augmented third. Now, once again, let's compare the major and the minor intervals. The distances stay the same. Unison, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and octave. Same here. And again, just refresher, the natural minor is built on the 6th degree of the major scale. So we go to the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A is the 6th. And we build our minor here. A, and continue forward with the intervals. The types are a little bit different. This is a perfect unison, major second, so far the same. This one is minor third in the minor scale, major third in the major scale. Perfect fourth and fifth stay the same. Here's minor sixth in the minor scale, major sixth in the major scale. Minor seventh in the minor scale, major seventh in the major scale, and the octaves, perfect octave, they stay the same. And let's take a look at the intervals and try to understand. In the major, the intervals can be built starting on any tone of the scale and in any key. The key of C is used in the following illustration. Perfect unison. Major second is also called a whole step. Major third, C to E. Perfect fourth, C to F. Perfect fifth, C to G. Major sixth, C to A. Major seventh, C to B. Perfect octave, C to C. Here we go on this line. Minor second, C to D flat, it's also called a half step. Minor third, C to E flat, And we'll see in a bit how it's just sounding exactly like the augmented second and why. And here we have C to F flat. It's also sounding like a major third. Why? Here we go. C to F flat. F flat shares the same key with an E key. And so this one is called major third because of the spelling. C to E. The alphabet. E means a third. But here it's called F flat. And so from C to the letter name F is a fourth, and it has to be called diminished fifth, but the sound quality is like a major third. Moving on, diminished fifth. C to G flat. G flat sounds the same as the key called F sharp. And we'll check this one out in a little bit. But just know that the diminished fifth sounds just the same as augmented fourth. Minor sixth. C to A flat sounds the same as an augmented fifth because A flat and G sharp are the same key. But the alphabetical spelling here is A. And so from C to A is a sixth, but the type means minor sixth. And over here, we'll touch on that in a second. Here we go, minor seventh. C to B flat, it sounds the same as an augmented sixth because B flat and A sharp sound the same, are the same key. Let's move on here on the last line. Augmented second, C to D sharp. It sounds like a minor third because C to D sharp is the same as the E flat. These two sound the same. Augmented third, C to E sharp. E sharp is the same key as F, and so augmented third sounds the same as the perfect fourth. Augmented fourth, C to F sharp. F sharp is the same key as G flat, and so augmented fourth sounds like diminished fifth. Augmented fifth, C to G sharp and A flat share the same key, and so augmented fifth sounds just the same as a minor sixth. Augmented sixth, C to A sharp. A sharp is the same key as B flat, and so an augmented sixth sounds the same as minor seventh. And finally, augmented seventh is the same as an octave because here we have B sharp and C are the same key, and so this one has to be called augmented seventh because of the spelling. This is B and this one is C. So this is augmented seventh. And there we go, the musical intervals. Thank you for watching.